What does it mean to win the American 700? Is it a combination between man and machine? Is it a test of endurance for the longest period of time you can imagine? Well, to the 12 drivers that have won it, they'd probably say it's both. In the first American 700, Vijay Puchanda went on to win it in a 3-segment showdown amongst other drivers in the field. In the second American 700, Jacob Hart did a wonderful job making sure that he could write his name in the history books. Jonathan Skavnicki had nothing for him. The third American 700 was a tragic one with the death of Vincent Allen, but Sean Perkins, the winningest driver in American 700 history, would win his first. Vincent Allen, in the same race that his father lost his life in the year before, would come home in a very chaotic American 700 at Indianapolis in order to win a triumphant race here when his uncle falls out on the last lap. But the tragedy nearly happened again when Jeffrey Finguy went into the catch fencing, an accident that would predecess his fatal accident at Road America. The fifth American 700 went to DJ Curtis, a driver who basically dominated the field at Texas Motor Speedway the last time the race would be held anywhere except the Auto Club International Raceway in Fontana, California. The sixth American 700 went to a legend. The second of the ARCSOA original 4 would win this race, that going to Nick Mace. He held off charges from Tamer DeLeese, as well as other drivers such as, I believe, James Silverfox and James Shelley, or Sean Galligan further back. Nick Mace is an American 700 champion, as well as an ARCSOA Elite Series legend. Sean Perkins would finally get to celebrate an American 700, as a battle between himself, Sean Galligan, and Noah Hart would duke it out for the final lap of the 350-lap Classic at Auto Club Speedway. The return to Auto Club Speedway, the eventual home of the American 700. Noah Hart made a late-ditch charge to try and win the race, however, Perkins was strong enough to hold him off. It would become one of the key classic races in what became the American 700's premier event. A late charge by Galligan was not enough for Sean Perkins. Perkins would prove to become a master of the track and the American 700, the first driver to ever win his second. It wouldn't be long before a second driver would get their first American 700 crown. Vincent Allen would come off the final corner at the Auto Club Speedway in a range-split American 700 to win his second American 700 amongst a charging field of cars on the lead lap. Vincent Allen is an American 700 champion twice over. However, it wouldn't be long before Perkins would win his third the next year. Sean Perkins put on a masterclass of domination, and kids ate free after this American 700, his third. Matthias Paulsen's heartbreak tire blowout with a few to go would cost him any shot of the American 700 as James Shelley blitzed by him on the outside. However, Shelley himself would have to hold off Nick Mace coming very hard on the inside. He would do so because the inside line was breaking up quite badly grip-wise throughout the weekend, and James Shelley would slide to the inside of Paulsen's teammate to try and take the victory. A late race charge by Nick Mace was not enough to catch James Shelley, and the Brit would become an American 700 champion on this day, the 10th American 700. The 11th American 700 would go to William Duncan after the car was deemed not to make it 50 laps. It made it all 350 laps. He is an American. I think I will let myself describe how the next American 700 went live as we relive the final moments of the season 23 American 700.
However, with 3 to go, Nick Pericles coming to 2 to go, grenades the motor! Oh no! 2 laps to go, Pericles
With only 2 to go, Nick Pericles lost the American 700. And Ike Durbin, a driver who had been nowhere all day, had won it. In what was one of the most heartbreaking losses in American 700 history. With only a handful of laps to go, John Arndt would dive underneath the entire pack and then dive underneath the 2 leaders, gaining 8 positions within the final restart of the race in order to win the season 24 American 700. Arndt's car was one of the best all day, but he was in a tough spot just getting involved in a wreck, the caution before. When the series was on the line, an American 700 was still held by Fontana Speedway. While there was no championship to fight for, the American 700 single-handedly brought ARCSOA back into the main fray. The series was in trouble, but this kind of finish basically saved it. Tyler Thaber, Vincent Allen, and Trek Tauger duked it out at the end, and despite hitting the wall, Trek Tauger would bring home a victory in a photo finish and the closest finish ever in the American 700 to win the 14th American 700. The most recent American 700 was a duel between Eric Monaco, a driver who had never won an ARCSOA Elite Series race, and a driver who won the 5th American 700. 10 years after his first American 700 crown in the 5th running, DJ Curtis would win the 15th running of the 700-mile sweepstakes. All of these drivers are immortalized in ARCSOA history and in motorsports lore. 4 of them are entered in the 16th running of the American 700. I'm sure all 4 of them are looking forward to taking another crack at the 700-mile sweepstakes. However, they have to be wary of the 55 others chasing them. It is a battle between men and their machines versus one another. A battle of endurance. The battle of human mortality. The battle of how much a human can take. All of those wrapped up into one long, illustrious story. That is the American 700.